that I'm worried about. It's my sister-in-law.
What?
Hold on.
Come and knock.
I just want to shake some sense into you kids.
And we are back.
Rocket.
The Monday Threes Company, which never has three people. It more has 4, 5, maybe 6.
But they're all company.
But yes, they're all company.
I prefer the Homer Simpson grip for shaking sense into the kids. You know, a good 2 firm-handed grip around the throat and just shake them back and forth.
That works.
We should be the Monday night orgy.
I could change it to that.
We should call it the Monday night orgy.
Okay.
We're
Oh,
always
man.
adding people.
The Monday Night Fuckfest.
Yeah, sure, why not?
So
No, man.
we have Ironcast joining us tonight because why the hell not? He seems to have an incredible, great taste in music, or at least he likes what I listen to.
Functionally synonymous.
And he's been a very, very he's served above and beyond, kicking ass above and beyond the call of duty by helping edit Boobs of Steel.
Yay.
Yay.
Get that thing out the door.
Yes,
Thank
well,
you.
I did send out the contact letters to Post Millennial and to Sargon's Lotus Eater's website to see if either would be interested in hosting them as articles first.
Splash some water on that. Splash some water on them titties and shove her out the door to earn you some money.
Oh, yeah. Well,
That's what body glitter's for, my man.
I think when you actually get around to reading it, Rolf, you might be a little shocked at the content because the title's a little deceptive. It's clickbaity purposely.
Oh, yeah.
Clickbaity is all hell.
Well, you mentioned what it's about. It's about, looking over how the body standards have changed in media over the years and why.
In the contact letter that I sent out, I specifically said that one of the things that started the article, the first original book that exploded into this nightmare I've been working on, was realizing that since at least the mid-90s, feminists have maintained an ongoing campaign to cancel Lara Croft and Power Girl strictly because of their boob size. That was what really was like, what the fuck's their problem?
I can't remember which actress was talking about it, but she said it was after a big movie, like everybody, it was a blockbuster, but she showed her boobs in it. And this is her words, not mine, but some short sour-faced dyke walked up to her and said, "You showed your tits, you're never working in Hollywood again," and walked away. And since then, she's had a problem getting parts. And she was one of the up-and-comers.
Trying to think of an action film with an up-and-comer that...
Well, I know that Christina Hendricks has talked at length about how she can't get roles.
Oh, that's right. You even speak about that in the book, that they don't want to fit for her because her boobs are quote-unquote too big.
Right.
Yeah.
And her hips are too round.
So she looks like a normal woman.
Yeah.
The weird thing is they've gone to the New England style of women's chests for Hollywood, which is 2 fried eggs nailed to a board.
Yeah.
Lucky.
And that's fine if you're some inbred meth doing New York City dweller. But those of us that live where people, eat actual food, notice that women have a tendency to get nice and curved. And no, I'm not talking a beach ball. I'm talking, but I hate it. Yeah, I hate watching these, and it gets me, I'll admit it. I like boobs. I'm a guy. I mean, boobs are wonderful. Hell, lesbians like boobs. 50% of the planet has them. Gotta love them. And I've noticed.
I prefer dudes.
Yeah, it's gone from nice ones to ones that actually, oh God, they don't sag, but they look like they do. Yeah. They're like a really hard down ski slope with like a bump at the bottom. They're not round. They're not boobs. They're And you see all these women. Oh, she's so good looking. She's one of the top. She's one of the sexiest women of the year. And you look, and she's got the chest of a 13-year-old boy. And you're like, what the fuck? She's got no boobs, and if she does, they end right at the bottom of her rib cage. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with your? Those are some mournful tits, lady. How are you working in Hollywood with more? And then you find out, oh, she got breast implants. It's like, where? Okay, I get what he cut on her tit with an X-Acto knife and shove a chiclet in there. That's called malpractice. And that's one thing I will give credit to Michael Bay when he did the Friday the 13th remake. Them chicks had tits.
Well, they even talk about that in the sex scene. Remember, he keeps going, your tits are so fantastic. They're stupendous.
Yeah. And, bring that back because, you watch a horror movie nowadays, there's not a nipple to be seen. And it's like, I get it. You're so mature. You're so self-aware. Fuck you. Show me the monster that gets out to because it's such a shitty movie, I'm going to ruin it for you all. In the new Scream movie, those incompetent fucks, between the three of them, can't kill any of the main group. Of the four fucking survivors, three of them can't take these dipshits out. And of course, they're all too cool and self-aware for everybody, which makes me just hate them more. When you've gotten to the point where I literally want your fucking characters to die, I don't care if a bus hits them. For fuck's sake, you're doing something wrong. And it was worse because rather than rooting for the bad guy, when it got to the end and it was the big reveal, I wanted like a J-Dam to be accidentally dropped on him. Or maybe a kinetic kill weapon actually goes off from orbit and kills them all. Because you self-obsessed, narcissistic fucking douchebags. All of you. I was like, I have never seen a more pathetic and just plain aggravating groups of antagonists and protagonists in my life. They are more unlikable than Ray Skywalker sitting you down to talk about male patriarchy. Okay.
God damn.
Okay,
These are the most unlikely. These are the most unlikable fuckers in the world.
Shit.
The new Scream movie is the one that has Jenna Ortega in it, right?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, she's the new Wednesday Addams.
I don't give a fuck about any of these new actors. Okay? All I know about Wednesday Addams is, God forbid an attractive woman be in a TV show or movie without making them gay. Oh my God. You cowards make them gay. Hey, how would they not be cowards and not make her gay since that's what everybody does? You show me a fucking movie with an attractive woman in it, she's either gay or I don't know. You know what? I can call it within 15 minutes. And I'm tired of it. It's like, for fuck's sake. Or they're going to show me some old ass actress that's so old she shits dust and expect me to believe that she's the sexy one. It's like, for fuck's sake, she walked by a fucking hobo woman scratching her ass and doing meth with better tits. Fuck.
Oh my God.
The worst part about the new Hellraiser movie is that the dusty ass old MILF was the sexiest woman in it.
Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Just stop. I can't wait. I hope Hollywood these movies are making less and less. The ones they're investing all this money into are making less and less. They spent almost $400 million on the new Indiana Jones movie.
Yes.
Why do I want to go see patronizing stuck-up bitch number 37 who don't need no man and can do everything better than the man can? Why do I need to go see that? I mean, why? I mean, and she's not even going to show me her tits.
You don't want to see her tits.
No, that's the other thing about these actresses. I don't want to see their tits. I don't want to see their ass. I don't want to see nothing.
In fact, that actress, was it Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've got a quote that I'm going to use in Boobs of Steel from her, where she outright says, "Sometimes I think I might be less of a feminist if I had bigger boobs." She actually said this.
I'm not surprised. I mean, did you hear about her show Fleabag that came out a couple of years ago? The whole, she's not a likable character in that show. I mean, she's a hoe. She actually tries to seduce a Catholic priest away from the priesthood.
Holy crap.
And in the scene where she is making out with him, she pins him against the wall. Now, it's bad if a man pins a woman against a wall and starts forcing them to kiss, but she does it to a man
Oh,
who's a priest, and it's considered one of the greatest scenes in that
don't
show.
get me started on the double standards.
Oh, no. No, I hear you, Ralph. It's just the double
the way-
standards. And guess what? Like, Hollywood loved that show. Julia Roberts loved that show.
Julia
They
Roberts is
thought,
still alive.
Yeah.
yes.
Hasn't like a wind come up and blown the dust off her so she disintegrates?
Mhm.
You
Well, they
Fuck.
dust her off every once in a while and trot her out in front of a camera.
That's like Jane Fonda coming out. You know, if it wasn't for white men, global warming would be solved. Bitch, women make
Oh,
up
yeah. What the
women's
fuck was up with
products.
that?
And she says that after flying her jet. You know, she's got a bigger carbon footprint in fucking 1 month than all of us do in a year. And you know, I'm sure. You know what? The makeup industry is primarily driven by women. Why don't we ask the animal kingdom how good that's been for them?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some rabbits that would like a word. You know, it's like, get the fuck out of here. 90% of what we do is in hopes of getting pussy. So fuck off, bitch.
Well, who the fuck is gonna listen to Hanoi Jane? Seriously.
Ugh.
She fucking shit all over our troops and our country during not World War II, I'm sorry. Vietnam. The alcohol is still there. I apologize. Vietnam, where she posed nude on a fucking, was it a tank?
Anti-aircraft gun.
Anti-aircraft gun. And God
she's
knows
lucky that oh, go ahead. Sorry, Ralph.
I was about to say, God knows how much rice, how much rice dumpling was shot up her ass during that photo shoot. Because you know she gave them fucking NVA guys a turn.
No, I'm pretty sure. She's lucky that America accepted her back. She really is. And what does she do?
Liberals accepted her back.
Oh, you know what? That's right. Hollywood accepted her back.
Yeah.
And she, do you guys remember? I think it was maybe 5-6 years ago when she posed for the Oscars, and she's like, I'm wearing jewelry that was, or diamonds that was ethically harvested and cruelty free. And people are like, are you fucking kidding me? You're wearing ethically harvested diamonds and you want us to applaud you? I think this was during COVID. And
how about you harvest diamonds out of my ass with your tongue, bitch?
You know, Ironcast, you're free to toss in.
Yeah.
I mean,
jump right in.
You can rip on Julia Roberts too. I mean,
I thought we were doing Jane Fonda.
I didn't remember who these people are. They're so fucking old.
Oh God,
I just remember Jane Fonda from all the workout tapes my mom had. So
I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest person here, so I am ignorant.
I think the only movie I liked Jane Fonda in was 9 to 5.
I didn't even like her in that. She ruined it.
Really,
I came to
thought
see Dolly
Dabney
Parton's
Coleman
tits.
and Dolly Parton saved that movie.
That's the Dolly Parton's tits saved that movie.
Dolly Parton's just amazing in general, and then she has those wonderful tits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. The woman has her own theme park. That's just awesome.
I remember when I was a kid, we would be wrestling around in the front room, and that song would come on, and we'd all immediately sit up and pay attention to the TV as the swing lowered with her on it.
Are you talking about Jolene?
The Dolly. No, the Dolly show.
Oh, I forgot about her show.
I'm not forgetting about it. I suddenly realized things. I realized things about women about that time.
Because I was thinking maybe you were talking about Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, which is another great movie.
I was disappointed by that movie. I was misled.
Many people were.
Oh, come on, though. I think that movie, for the lack of nudity, Dom DeLuise acting like a religious, sanctimonious nut that wanted to get rid of whores was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. I like that movie. It's great. Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, and Dolly Parton. You really can't go wrong.
Oh, man. It's been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
No wonder why I don't remember who Julia Roberts is. I've seen one of her movies.
Which one?
Flatliners.
I have not.
Oh God, I saw that when it came out in theaters.
Yeah, I saw it right near that time period too. After renting it at the like a VHS store, so I don't fucking remember who she is. She's a person, I guess.
I don't pay attention to actors. I don't pay any more attention to actors' names than I do to the fucking monkeys at the zoo.
Yeah,
The only
that's pretty
difference
much how I am.
is the monkeys at the zoo don't try to tell me how to fucking live.
No, they just fling shit at you.
Mm-hmm.
At least they're
Yeah,
honest
they're
about it.
honest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
No, that's what I meant. If they don't like you, they'll throw poo at you.
That's like that Babylon Bee article. Hollywood stars use their yachts to form the words "We're all in this together" during COVID.
Like, you fucks.
Oh, when they all got up there and sang their little gay commie song, with their mansions
Oh,
behind servants
imagine.
behind them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gal Gadot got ripped apart for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised. I'm surprised she could still function in Hollywood and as Wonder Woman because people hated her after that.
Did you see Wonder Woman 1984?
No, because they did a horrible fucking remake rendition of Blue Monday, and that is a huge insult to New Order. And also, I saw what the cheetah looks like, and she looks like she was in the movie Cats. Fucking horrible.
I know that we completely moved on to whatever the hell we were talking about, but I still have one comment about Fonda.
Okay.
Okay.
Remember, this is the same generation that welcomed James Fonda back, were the same fuckheads who think Robert McNamara is a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Just let that sink in.
My only real opinion on that subject is that the world needs about 1,000 more killdozers, about 100% more kill.
Killdozer's amazing.
I like that. Yeah, Killdozer.
Totally need more Killdozer.
So is there a specific Killdozer you were thinking of, or?
The ones that just drove through that town, wrecking all their shit. He's beautiful. American hero.
They left him with nothing to lose.
Exactly. He was a reasonable man who had to do unreasonable things, which is still the best quote in American history.
Mm-hmm.
That was the guy that built the Killdozer that went after the city council after
Yep.
they fucked him over by, you need a sewage line. Oh, you don't have a proper sewage line. We're taking your land.
Yep. No. This is, and plus they sold the easement off to his shop, and then they just kept fucking with him.
No,
you know what? He deserved to make the Killdozer and destroy everything. That's a great story.
I do know there's a town in California that's going to have problems in about 30 years.
Which one?
I don't remember the name of it, but this guy got in an argument with the city council over the trees in his front yard. And he kept telling them, these are protected trees. These are protected redwoods. I planted them here 30 years ago. And while he was gone, they cut them down.
Oh.
So what he did was he took the seeds and made sure they were all viable, and he went around and planted them around town. These are the kind that by the time they're like 5 or 6 feet tall, their root system is like 30 feet across and 20 or 30 feet down. They can crack bedrock.
Good.
And he's like, I planted 300 seeds. In 20 years, this town will be destroyed.
That's awesome.
That is some proper fucking civil disobedience right there.
Fuck yeah.
Dude. I don't know. I'm really disappointed. I went out and spray painted dicks around the potholes, and they just came out and used a fucking mini cat to scrape up a layer of the fucking asphalt. So now the road's worse.
What?
You did this?
We've been trying to get the road fixed here for 4 years. 4 fucking years. They came out here and said we're gonna fix it. They drove a cat up and down it and ripped up all the asphalt, and then they never did anything. Oh, and then they showed up a year later and dumped patches of random asphalt, and then they didn't smooth it down. So the road is just shit, and they got a hold of me. When are you gonna pay your property taxes? When are you gonna fix my fucking road?
Yeah.
Yeah, it never sounds like you live in Oklahoma. That what it is
here. I live in the Midwest. Yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
Oh yeah, they'll do the fucking main highway, and they'll do the they'll do the roads near the money.
Yeah. So since you're the guest Ironcast Knight,
Hey.
Do you have any Gen X behaving badly stories?
Ooh.
I mean, not really. I have done some weird shit. Got run over by a motorcycle, threw up in a Russian bar,
Oh,
kitchen
no, you need
exploded.
to tell these stories then. Okay, you've got my attention. Throwing up in a Russian bar, getting run over by a motorcycle,
Were
please.
you on the motorcycle, or was just a motorcyclist ran you over?
The latter, unfortunately.
Did he at least yell something when he went by?
Yeah, it was in Chinese. There was a brief period of time where I failed horribly at being an English teacher. And, I've spent several months in China, like month and a half of which is over
I'm
in a
sorry.
room with all the
My
Uyghurs.
cousin taught in China for 3 years, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, it did not last that long for me. Anyways, I was in a fucking Urumqi about 3 months before all the Uyghur shit started going down. And I did not do well as an English teacher because I don't like talking, but I did get really, really fucking drunk at a, work party. And then sometime in the recent future to that point, fucking the cheap ass point of use electric water heater did kind of explode my kitchen while I was in the shower, but only after I got out and ran to try to open a window. If this sounds like the first review for ROBOMANCER, that's because that's what I based it on. There were unfortunately no Chinese secret police coming after me. They were just shuffling me out of the country later.
Get out.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's just a relatively well behaved kind of Gen-ish why. I heard your reasoning for why that's not a thing earlier, so I kind of agree. Like a Gen Y-ish teenager, because my parents are basically honorary Gen X, even though they're technically boomers by like 2 years.
Oh, they like the what is that weird post-boomer phase?
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad is 61, my mom is 63, so they were right at the fucking tail end of it, and they hate boomers as much as you all do. So yeah.
I love when I get a millennial or Gen Zer telling me that, oh, you don't hate millennials the way I do because they ruined the economy and they did this and they did that. And it's like, they personally fucked me up. It's not some esoteric shit like the economy. It is they personally did it.
My mom hit me on the back of the head with a frying pan because she was a goddamn 70s feminist.
And then she made me go to school with double vision for a week. Oh, I still remember that. I would walk like a block and then I'd have to vomit.
Oh God.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah. But we don't like boomers because they destroyed the economy. She literally used to lock me out of the house when I was 5.
Oh God.
Oh, my mom would if I wanted to go to my great grandparents' house and I really wanted to go and I would start crying, she would put my clothes in a paper bag in the middle of the night and take me outside and lock me out.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy
Oh my
crap.
God.
Okay, so you
God. Just
the Chinese or the Russian bar, yeah.
Yeah, the Russian bar in China.
Oh, it was in China.
Yep.
wow.
Well, this is a story. Let's hear this.
So were there any Russians at this Russian bar?
There were a lot of Russians at that Russian bar. They had the dancers and the weird performances and all that shit. I was more distracted by all that delicious vodka they were giving me for free, so I drank a lot of it. This is when
that place was mobbed up like a motherfucker.
It was packed. Anyways, I just drank a bunch of vodka as I was wont to do at the time because I was, 23. And then as casually sauntered into the bathroom, perfectly stable, threw up all over that fucking toilet, wandered right back out, started drinking again.
Jesus.
Then I had the second worst hangover of my entire fucking life the next day. That was exciting.
Okay, so what's the worst?
The worst was discovering the fact that I don't agree with fucking cheap wine.
Oh, nobody does.
Yeah. And this is after starting the keto diet, so my liver's a little bit fucked up anyways, and I drank too much, and holy shit, that was a fucking hangover.
I made the mistake of drinking guzzling 4 flasks of Mad Dog 2020 grape.
God damn.
Oh my God.
And then my memory goes, footage missing. And then I woke up in the cell.
As David Tell says, it's time travel.
Yeah. Yeah, I teleported from my room to a cell.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was always a well-behaved kid because my parents would have fucking beat me to death.
Jesus.
I mean, both of them were raised by extremely abusive parents to the point where my mom wrote a book about how awful her mother was. So they were kind of no nonsense. So I behaved myself mostly.
So
See,
you got along with them then?
Oh yeah, I really like my parents. They're weird and fucked up people, but I really like them.
I
envy you.
I like mine now. I like my parents now. Both of them are dead.
Hey, by the way, I looked up Mad Dog 2020 grape, and you can get it for $2.99 at some liquor stores.
Yeah.
I
Back in the day, it was sensibly priced at $1 a jug.
Oh
I
my
kind of want to
God.
buy it and try it.
Oh, it's god awful.
Is it like worse than NyQuil?
Yes.
Oh shit.
No.
Okay.
This is the stuff. This is the stuff bums drink. Okay.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
it's Chuck street booze.
we also
Oh,
made the
no.
mistake of popping the lead out of the M60 rounds and pouring the cordite into it.
Oh my
That might
God,
have had.
why?
That might have had. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
Yeah, you pour in about 20 rounds in it, half a chem stick, shake it up, and then shotgun it, and then you teleport to the jail cell.
Wow.
Damn. See, I don't know, because I really didn't do any substances other than that trip to Disneyland
Mhm.
on acid. I don't have any stories like that.
Oh God, that was fucking dumb. Because eat, drink, be merry, and act like an asshole. Because tomorrow we're probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh no, you really don't experience acid very well unless you start seeing the wallpaper move while you're taking a shit while you're on acid. That's some fun stuff. Because that actually happened to me.
I'll tell you, I had a worse trip on soju than I did on acid.
Soju,
Me
what's
and-
that?
Wait, just the sweet wine? plum
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
Soju's
Soju.
rank ass shit. It's Korean.
Yeah. Soju is from Korea and it's made with formaldehyde.
Ugh.
Holy shit.
And you should never share a bottle with two friends.
Oh God.
It makes you retarded, and that's me saying it.
Wow.
Well,
I mean-
yeah, I'm kind of trying to process that now.
Yeah, it's made
That's
with
almost up there with Archer and what was it, the snake venom
Yeah.
whiskey?
Yeah. Or was it? I thought it was tequila.
They actually have that
the
kind of
Vietnam
shit.
stuff,
Mhm.
right? Where you drink the
Yeah.
snake venom and the booze and get a nice little trip.
Yeah, it's somewhat hallucinogenic, and it's supposed to make your mouth tingle. It's supposed to give you a similar reaction to that fugu fish does.
Oh, the blowfish.
Yeah, the puffer fish in Japan.
Human beings are retarded. Whenever somebody tells me when I'm writing something, oh, people wouldn't do that because that's stupid, I'm like, have you met an actual person in your life?
Yeah.
I've seen people do the dumbest shit after I told them not to.
Look, we used to have a television show called, America's Funniest Home Videos that was all
Yes.
about people doing stupid shit, and sometimes they were doing it on purpose for the camera.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was Ow My Balls before Ow My Balls.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I always hate that. I got to say this as a writer. I always hate it when reviewers or critics or readers say, what he does just doesn't make sense. People are supposed to behave logically. It's like, you're standing here with a propeller beanie on and your pants on backwards, chewing on a fucking rattlesnake, and you're telling me people need to act logically? Get the fuck away from me. Okay, I'll tell you what, go to Walmart at 2 a.m. and then tell me people act logically.
There you go.
Go to Walmart at any point in the day and tell me people act logical.
I mean, I like Walmart. I prefer it, I prefer it over a lot of other stores because at least it's honest. Hey, buy this cheap shit and get out.
Yeah.
Not,
very true.
we want you to feel part of your family. Thanks. I've had people try to molest me before.
Thank you, Target.
Yeah. Or oh, we want you to know what you're valued. Motherfucker, if my wallet grew legs and came in, you would throw me out. Don't lie to me.
Wow.
I hate that shit. And I can't stand that people fall for that shit. They're a multi-billion-dollar mega corporation, and you think they give a fuck about your minimum wage ass? No. Well, the ad said that we're family. What, you never had an uncle that molested you before?
Why are you believing advertisements just in general?
Yeah.
Important and relevant question.
I mean, why? Why do people fall for that? I mean, do you
Some
really think
people-
you're that fucking lovable? Because let me tell you, you're not.
Well, I'm kind of baffled by that because, keep in mind again, we're all essentially Gen X here. And the whole attitude then was, yeah, right, fuck you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So when did people start trusting, when they came over the Walmart or Target speaker, we like our customers. Our customers are family. And that's what it's like.
When did people actually believe that
I mean,
shit?
To
I
this
look at the
day,
entirety of fucking Pride Month and wonder, why the fuck are you idiots buying this shit? That's fucking Disney right there. They do not fucking care about any of us.
No. And what I love is for Pride Month, Raytheon, maker of fine things such as napalms, cluster bombs, and smart missiles and self-healing minefields,
I used
putting
to
the
live near them.
putting the rainbow up. It's like, what? Do your weapons not kill people during Pride Month?
They just fuck them in the ass extra hard during Pride Month.
It's like, you motherfuckers have killed more people than smallpox.
Well, it's the same thing for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where all the companies make everything pink. Like, they just want your fucking money. Like,
Yeah.
they don't give any of the money to any charities. Yeah, it's just
No.
another ploy to be like, oh, look, we care.
And I'll tell you, I've worked for Walmart. I hated every one of you. I loathed you. Because I worked a night shift, and there's nothing like working night shift and having some retard roll up on me and go, where are the pickles? 6 inches to your left. Your other left. No, your other left. And never failed.
Thank fucking Christ I never worked retail. I would have murdered someone.
Same.
Would have murdered
I
them.
never worked retail. Said I went and worked with children.
I kept getting fired.
Yeah,
I
I
did
failed
for-
at being an English teacher and then spent the entire rest of my life learning how to be a machinist and never ever interacting with anyone.
You're the smart one.
I just did whatever I could to pay the bills.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
did that when I worked in the clothing warehouse. That was also a no fucking people job.
I didn't go too far. I had standards, Anything that carried a sentence of more than 6 months, I didn't do. Anything that might remind the cops I existed, I didn't do. Yeah, because let's not do that.
The job that did make me sadly hate humanity was when I worked at the comic book store. And Janelle knows what I'm going to be referring to. There's a series of comic book stores in San Diego called Comics and Stuff. Everyone calls it Comics and Shit. And basically, the guy who owns that chain of stores is a hoarder. He doesn't actually want to sell any of his shit. He just opens up stores to store his crap in. And if it happens to sell, well, okay, then he's got more money to spend on more shit that he's going to need to open another store to store it in. And I worked there for the Christmas rush. And
sorry.
Yeah, if it had been one of the other locations, I think I would have been okay. But this was a mall location, and during Christmas, and we had Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, this was when Yu-Gi-Oh was really super big. If listeners out there, you know what cards I'm going to be talking about, good for you, because I don't remember what they were called, but there were these 5 cards that were supposed to be like body parts for a big gigantic mecha robot thing.
Exodia.
Yep,
You
that was
know what
it.
it is. Okay. And each one was like $500 each.
Don't ask why I know this.
That's okay. That's fine. You're a geek. You're in the industry. Sometimes you just learn shit through osmosis. But we had 3 sets of all 5 of those cards, and every fucking day I'd get some brat who was 8 years old coming in with his grandparents, because his grandparents want to know what to buy their little precious for Christmas, and he's like, I want these, and they looked at me and it's like, okay, we'll take all 5. I'm like, you want all 5? They're like, yeah, we'll take all 5. I'm like, okay, that'll be
That'll be $2,000.
$2,500. They're like, that'll be what? I'm like, yeah, they're 500 each. And I had one person flat out like feel like they needed to berate me. And I'm like, look, these cards are Japan only and they're really rare. And that's just what my boss, charges for them. I dare you to try to find them cheaper elsewhere. And there was another kid where his mom came in and tried to pull that. And I wasn't going to dick around with her. I actually felt for her. So I just said flat out, these are 500 each, ma'am. And she looked like she was going to full on punch the kid in the face. And she grabbed him by the arm and said, how, just how dare you? Do you think I'm stupid? And just dragged his ass out. It's like, fucking good mom.
That's funny that you say that about the owner cat, because that's what Steve said too when we went into the stores to hang out. And he's like, this isn't a store for selling, because so
No.
much of the product is old and faded. He's
Yeah.
like, this is a hoarder's nest.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm taking away from his hoard, so oh well.
Except for the Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic cards, everything in there was circa 95 and older.
He had faded wall scrolls for like Trigun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were all like sun bleached.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
They'd
terrible.
been in the window just a little too long.
And he would occasionally, he had his buyer come in, and his buyer, I think, got up in the morning and decided to bathe in lard first thing.
Christ.
God.
And then he had these rubber gloves on his hands that must have been on there for the last 2 weeks, because the rubber was turning yellow and was hard and crusty, and the bottom parts of the rubber gloves were starting to fray. And the guy's apparently a germaphobe with those things, and he'd come in with a backpack and just would pile these graphic novels on the table, and I had to call the owner and say, okay, yeah, he's got this, he's got this, he's got this, and I'd go through them for the owner and pick out which ones the owner wanted to buy, and then I'd hand the phone over. By the way, I couldn't actually like hold the phone like normal. I had to hold it away from my head, otherwise this dude would like have a shit fit because I've got germs. And so I'd have to hand it over, and then the two of them would haggle over the books that were picked out. It was so weird.
Oh, man.
Well, that also explains where he put his porn collection, because the store I always went to had the X-rated room, and it even had Barbie dolls that were like, look, it's this porn star, and she comes with her own bottle of lube.
That store was amazing. I was so sad when the septic tank exploded.
Oh no. Okay, I don't. Let's see. Are we talking about the same store?
The one that was in Point Loma?
No, I went to a different one where they also opened up a sexy room, I guess.
Oh, the one in Point Loma was amazing, and they had a great adult section. That's where we got all our Soriyamas and Michael Manning work, and they had such amazing stuff. And then one day we went to the store and it was closed, and found out later that what had happened is that the septic line exploded, and the owner just abandoned everything that was in there until they bulldozed the property.
Wow. Okay.
God.
The X-rated room that they had at the store I went to in El Cajon, did not have any of the good artwork. Yeah, I went to the El Cajon store.
Oh, okay,
Had none of
yeah.
the good artwork. It was literally all the like brazier shit.
Oh,
Like I said, there was Barbie dolls that came with their own dildos and lube that you could insert the dildo into the
Oh.
Barbie doll, but they were based on porn stars.
so none of the actual artsy stuff like
No, it was like
Sariyama or
hentai and like a
Yeah.
bunch of
Oh.
classic Playboys, but not classic enough that were worth to buy. Nothing from the 50s and 60s. It's like the 80s and 90s.
Okay, so we were talking about companies
Yes.
supporting Pride Week,
Yes.
now Pride Month.
And telling you that they love you.
Here's a meme I made 2 years back, and I love the fact that nobody could tell whether this was real or not.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the back porch.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I worked for like 6 months at a comic book shop when I was on a temporary disability leave, and God, I have terrible memories of that. Okay,
I'm
let's go ahead.
sorry. That is definitely one of those, like you run the gauntlet if you work a comic book store. I mean, I figured I could do it because I had worked 2 years as a manager of a GameStop, but
I could see that one being real.
Yeah. I know that Oscar Mayer ad is fake because it actually has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I made that 2 years ago and just posted it around on Twitter, and there were people who thought it was real.
Yeah, I could believe it.
There's no wrong way to swallow a wiener.
nope.
Like I said, it's actually funny, so it can't be real.
Yeah.
That's why I just believe it.
I think it's a great meme. I mean, it's mocking what people have been saying for years. The corporations do not care about you. They are literally making money off of you
Mhm.
by, saying, oh, we celebrate Pride, or, we celebrate eradicating breast cancer. And of course, you never see these companies do September testicular cancer. They
Nope.
don't turn everything blue. It'd be nice if they did that.
When was the last time you heard any of them really celebrate Memorial Day?
No, I know. I actually, no.
Memorial Day
Local
sales.
businesses,
Yeah.
small businesses do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, major corporations do not. Same thing with Veterans Day and Independence Day.
I don't think I've ever seen a single goddamn ad for prostate cancer awareness. They do not give a shit.
No.
No.
And that's a pretty brutal cancer too for men. I mean, Jesus, I think it's one of the top killers of men.
If
And
they
nobody
don't
ever talks
catch
about
it, if they don't catch it in time, you lose use of everything down there.
Yep, they have to
Mhm.
amputate it all.
It took out Total Biscuit too, so there's a big name victim of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or is that colon cancer? One of the two.
Oh yeah, I mean, what was it somebody said? Somebody was like, oh, the only reason all this money has been put into, breast cancer and all that is because women objectify men. It's like, I mean, men objectify women. I was like, bitch, if they put half that money into fucking prostate cancer, we'd probably know what causes it instead of it being a mystery.
Mhm.
We could take it another direction, which is that complaint that they only care that men objectify women because they like breasts, and that's the only reason there's breast cancer research. Is basically showing that there's an entire class of feminist women who's incapable of saying thank you.
Well, there's an entire class of feminists who hate nobody. My sister used to say this. Don't be fooled. Nobody hates a woman as much as another woman.
Yep.
Oh, that's very true.
You
That's
will
what my
never
mom
be
said.
you will never be as misogynistic as a woman is to another woman, especially if she's prettier, richer, has something the other woman wants, or it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then
No.
the way
Sometimes
my
even
mom talked,
Thursday.
the way my mom talked growing up, it was always, "Thank fucking Christ you were both boys." And it's like, yeah, that's a woman who hates women right there.
Oh man.
I've actually heard that from more than one mother.
Well, let's not forget when Father's Day came out a couple of years ago, they put out those shirts where they faded the F and H and the FAT for father,
Mhm.
and so it said it's her day.
Yep. I
Oh,
remember
that's
that.
disgusting.
I remember that. And it's like, no, fuck you. You don't get this.
And I love the complaints. I was cruising around online on Mother's Day, and I saw the most ungrateful shit in the world being posted. I can't believe he won't leave me alone for 20 minutes. Him and the kids are constantly asking what I want to do, where I want to go to eat. Do I want time alone? Do I want to take a bath? Does he want me to? Do I want him to take the kids out to the park so I can have alone time? I hate Mother's Day. It's like, you
What?
ungrateful fucking
Yeah.
bitch.
I
Oh
remember
my
seeing that
gosh.
one.
Like, okay, you don't have
Steve
to
and
have it
Chris.
ever again.
Steve and Chris bend over backwards to make sure that I have a kick-ass Mother's Day, to the point where I'm like, no, I just want to sit and chill and watch a movie with you guys and eat junk food. That's all I want to do for Mother's Day. The fact
I
that woman's like, oh, they're bothering me because they want to do nice things for
Oh,
me. Fuck
it's
you,
not just
cunt.
one woman. It's all over Twitter and Reddit and Tumblr and Instagram and Pinterest. It's a huge thing.
Oh God, that just pisses me off.
Well, it just
What a
reminds me of
horrible.
it just reminds me of that chick that did the cartoons bitching about her husband, and then the internet discovered them. That had to be the best time where they took somebody else's artwork and fucked with it, because
Really?
she had this comic where she was like, what I'd have to take with the kids what I take when I take the kids out in the car, and she's got like a diaper bag and all this other shit, and then what my husband brings, and he's holding the keys. Somebody photoshopped it so he's holding his driving wine. Of course, me and my wife love that Good Dad, Bad Dad comic strip. Good
Haven't seen
Dad
that one either.
No.
changing the baby normally. Bad Dad swirling, swinging the baby over its head so it's shitting all over the walls. The baby's got this big smile.
No, that sounds like something you'd actually do, though.
Oh man, still love that somebody grabbed that toolbox full and that fucking shopping bag full of fucking dirty diapers. It's like, yep, you made off with something there, dude. Thanks. I was like, that people think that cloth diapers were like a medieval thing.
Like, no, I had cloth diapers.
I use cloth diapers on my kids because I got tired of paying $30 a fucking box.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, my mom and dad use cloth diapers with me too.
It's like, I'll just scrape this into the toilet and throw in the washing machine, and then I'll run lemon powder through it. And plus, it was better. Yep, you just put the little plastic pants on them so they don't pee through it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't be a neglectful fuck. You make sure they can run around and air out.
Yeah.
When we had Chris, it was actually cheaper to get disposable diapers than cloth diapers by the time we had him, which we thought was crazy.
Yeah, that did shock me when I found that out from, God, it was my brother, actually. I asked my brother, "Are you using cloth diapers for your son?" And he says, "No, it's cheaper to do it this way." Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went. The price went down in the late '90s, early 2000s on disposable diapers. Because I can remember when you would go to Costco to get the big box of 72 diapers for $40.
Wow.
Fucking disposable diapers were expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's why my parents used cloth diapers, because they were too damn expensive to use disposables.
And that's like every time they talk about, oh, we need to save the earth. Well, how about if you do some biodegradable diapers?
Mhm.
No. No, call me when you're doing, and you know what? I'm sorry. COVID proved that all this save the earth is bullshit, because I can't remember what it was. It was a horrifying amount of tons. There are something like 1 million metric tons of masks in the Pacific Ocean.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God.
They said there are more masks in landfills than there are disposable diapers.
Yeah. And the masks that we used are or I should say most people use, they're not biodegradable. They're full
No.
of chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, those stupid little blue masks. Yeah, you can walk down the street nowadays and you'll see one wadded up like in the alley or something, and it's been there for like 2 years.
Yeah.
What gets me is I still see people masking, and it's like, What are you, robbing a bank, dude?
No. See, that's kind of an identifier of stay away. This person's a retard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
the only. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, Steve and I do wear masks, but only in the casinos at Las Vegas. We actually did not get the Vegas version of Con Crud during COVID when we were in Vegas because we wore those masks. You know how like everybody's gross in the casinos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only time we wear it, but it's not because we're afraid of getting sick from other people. We just, we don't get sick from it anywhere. Other than that, we don't wear masks. I was pissed we had to wear masks at Comic-Con.
I went to Boot Hill during COVID, in the height of COVID. Went to Boot Hill. I called and they said, "Are you open?" They said, "Yeah." Called the hotel. They said, "Yeah, come on in." And there was like 4 of us in the entire hotel. And at the casino during the day, it was like a dozen people, and that was it. And the machines were just hitting like crazy. And they didn't have you wear masks or anything.
Nice.
You know, of course, I'm limping around. I'm hobbling around with my canes. They were really nice to me. And because Trista went in and her second thing on the slots, and she won enough for. Not only did she gamble the rest of the time, but it paid for gas.
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah, can't ask for much more.
No.
Alois has an interesting comment.
Hmm.
Speaking of masking, have you seen that indie game on the Nintendo eShop that depicts non-maskers as enemies?
I heard about
No. What do you know?
All I know is that it's apparently anybody who doesn't mask it's basically like Doom, and you shoot people who aren't wearing masks. That's all I've heard.
What is this game?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention because it's obviously designed to farm outrage clicks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, there was also the one where it was the what was it, Tranny Revenge, where it was basically a trans person gunning down women.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Wow, that's fucked
Yeah.
up.
I gotta say, I wish that Tranny Gladiator would have came out, because that game, when he was alphaing it and letting people who were willing to pay $3.99 take a look at his game, you could spend hours playing pretty dress up for your for your gladiator, and they would fight for better jewelry and better costumes and better makeup. And I was like, this thing rules. And then he got all this shit from the internet and quit, and then it came out that he was trans himself.
That is disappointing.
He just went by a he. Do what?
That's kind of disappointing. I would have played that game.
I mean, I played the beta. I was like, oh, that's right. There's gladiator matches. I'm one of those people who sit in The Sims for like 4 hours.
I'm with you, Ralt. If I had played that game, I would have been doing pretty dress up. Yep. Trying to match everything, looking good, and then maybe do a couple of fights.
It's like, okay, and it was stuff like, okay, if you win this match, you get a multicolored gradient, metallic gradient bustier. It's like, I gotta kill this motherfucker. This motherfucker's gotta die.
Yeah, so is this trans or drag queens? Because it makes more sense if it's drag queens.
I don't know. No, it was just called Tranny Gladiator. I thought it was kind of cool.
Oh wait, Eloise is talking about the Nintendo indie game it's called Pulling No Punches.
Ugh.
So the person that made this gladiator game was a trans man, and they gave the trans man shit for making a trans game.
Yeah, until they quit the internet.
Wow, I am so sick of people. Fuck.
And it was just like, he was like, I'll refund your money if you want. I was like, keep my fucking money. I played pretty dress up for hours. I got my money out of this shit.
That game sounds fun, and honestly, a lot of people would play it.
Yeah, I'll admit, I very rarely, I didn't do any bug reports on the gladiator fights. Everybody else was like, oh, it's buggy this, it's buggy that. I did shitloads of bug reports on clipping issues.
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't pretty dress up the entire point of what is it?
City of Heroes.
No, Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a huge part of it.
Yeah. I like dress up games. I mean, when I play Fallout 4, I'll install the weather mod and I'll do a few others. I do the nude body, and then I do the outfit packs.
Hell yeah.
I love the outfit packs.
Because every one of my settlers has to be dressed differently according to their job and whether or not I like them.
Ah, someone else who does it. Finally.
Look, my character always runs around with a beehive and a red sparkly dress and stiletto heels in Fallout. Fuck yeah, dude, with my minigun.
Let's see, she's like I use the nude mod and the body slide mod, so I make fat girl with a minigun, and she's got like E or F cups, and she's got a belly and a big ass and huge thighs and huge arms, and she wears Daisy Dukes, a short crop top that the bottom of her boobs hang out of, and stockings and knee-high boots, and she's got a minigun.
Nice.
So I you got that HDT SMP mod to make her jiggle. That's for like there.
Yes, yes, have to have that, so that when she fires the minigun, she jiggles. That was the best. I had more people fucking watching my streams when I was doing her and the Naked Avenger in Skyrim, and then my channel got banned.
I wonder why.
Nudity.
Mystery.
Yeah, nudity.
Are you serious? You got banned for mod nudity?
Yeah.
That's fucking dumb.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Let's see, mod nudity, fat shaming. I wasn't fat shaming. She was the fucking hero of the wasteland, buddy. You gotta be a big girl to run a Vindicator.
Yeah.
You know, I actually gave somebody $20 to because they were a modder and they did the Vindicator minigun, and I paid them $20 to write cupcake on the barrels and add an ammo box on the side so it looked good.
Nice.
Yep, because she ran around with her cupcake and shared it with everyone.
Doing God's work.
Yep, doing God's work, killing super mutants, hippies, androids, scientists, and anybody else who looked at her cross-eyed.
Fuck yeah.
Did you ever use the mod where you got unlimited mini nukes with your fat man?
No.
Okay, I just like doing that because it destroyed everything.
No, I blow myself up. I did do Sim Settlers, which is actually a good mod for Fallout 4. If you've played Fallout 4, try Sim Settlers.
I second that. It's a really fun mod.
Sim Settlers for Fallout?
For Fallout 4. Sim Settlements 2. You gotta get the second one. For Fallout 4.
Like, it basically fix all the problems with the settlement?
They take care of themselves.
Oh, nice.
Did it give any purpose to the settlements?
Also, yes, it has a storyline.
Yes, it has a storyline. There's a purpose to the settlements. It actually feels like you're rebuilding shit. And I gotta say, I wish I could go to Bethesda and find out whoever's in charge of the art direction for the Fallout games and grab them and tell them that 250 years after the nukes, there would not be skeletons laying around, you morons. And for fuck's sake, paint your fucking house.
I want to grab that person and scream, "Brooms, motherfucker!"
I know.
Use them.
I mean, fucking what did they find? What did they find in those ancient Mesopotamian ruins? A fucking broom. Holy shit! You go in this dude's house and he's like the richest guy in the settlement. There's 4 skeletons, a dead pigeon in the toilet, and he's got huge holes in the walls of his house. It's like, have some fucking pride. Fuck.
Yeah, at least New Vegas actually looked like it was being resettled.
Yeah. But not Fallout 4. The whole place was one big shit heap.
I liked how in New Vegas, there were areas where they had shoved all the rubble out.
Yeah.
And like, what was it? New Vegas itself looked great. It was clean, Yeah. But you go around to the settlements that are outside, you can see, well, that's where they shoved all the rubble.
Yeah.
That made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the skeletons didn't look like they were 200 years old. They looked like they were 10 to 20 years old because people were dying left and right in New Vegas.
Yep.
But Fallout 4 looked like it was the nukes had gone off like an hour ago. And I honestly wonder if there was a last-minute change to the plot. And it wasn't supposed to be 250 years. It was only supposed to be 20 years. And then somebody said, oh, we should bring in the Brotherhood of Steel.
They did that to Fallout 3. It was supposed to be 20 years after the nukes hit. And that's why the food was still fresh and everything. You could
Yeah.
eat the, but the last minute, it was the same thing. They wanted to bring in the Enclave and Brotherhood of Steel.
Get a new set of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Get a new plot too.
Yeah, get a new plot. I mean,
How many more
fuck.
times do you have to revive the wasteland and settle some issue with your dad?
Every
Well,
single
let's-
goddamn time, apparently.
Oh God, the first two had nothing to do with your father. The first one was the Master. The second was Horrigan and the Enclave. The Fallout Tactics. I'm sorry, I will defend Fallout Tactics. That
Yes!
game had a good fucking plot.
That was the one that
I
takes
mean-
place in Chicago, right? The Midwest?
Yeah, it takes place in the Midwest. I mean, you can take that plot and apply it to any post-apocalyptic game, and your players will have a fucking blast.
Finally, someone else who genuinely likes like a Fallout Tactics. I love that
Fallout
game for
Tactics was
decades.
fucking great. And everybody was like, "Oh, it's terrible." You know who said it was terrible?
Who?
The fucking lame ass faggots over at No Mutants Allowed, and those people were the dumbest, most stuck up, most fan fiction writing losers I'd ever seen. They practically ruined Fallout.
I believe it.
No Mutants Allowed was a message board for Fallout fans that it turned into a bastion of retardation.
Really?
And they were the most.
Didn't it transform over time into the pretty much unofficial, official Fallout wiki? I think,
Yeah.
A Fallout streamer I watch every once in a while still has constant issues arguing with them over shit, even in Fallout 4, which usually has put like 13,000 fucking hours into.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of dumb assholes to this day.
Oh yeah, and they were like, "Oh, Fallout Tactics is terrible," and I would say, "Why? What's terrible about it?" And they literally couldn't answer. Well, it doesn't have all the role playing the first one did. Well, it wasn't supposed to. It's a military tactical simulator with a good story on it.
It was a good tactical simulator too.
And I don't care what anybody says, Van Buren sucked. The plot. If you read the plot Bible for Van Buren, it was dumb as fuck.
It's awful. It's awful. They did the whole pariah dog, but with Joshua Graham instead. I'm glad they changed the Joshua Graham to the guy that ends up surviving Caesar throwing pitch on him and throwing him on fire and then tossing him down the Grand Canyon.
No, Van Buren was the story Bible for Fallout 3.
I thought it was the story Bible for Fallout New Vegas because it takes place in okay. Are you sure?
Van Buren was the code name for Fallout 3. They got halfway done with it and the company went under. And if you read the Fallout Bible for Van Buren, it eventually gets to a space station and all this other ridiculous shit. And it's like, ugh.
It sounds stupid, but is it really dumber than Fallout 3? I don't think it is.
I don't know. Okay, the space part, I like that they turned it into an alien abduction.
Yeah.
For the DLC. That shit was funny because you saw them beaming up
dumb.
Brahmin.
What?
Oh no, they the DLC for Fallout 3 was
Mothership Zeta.
Yeah. Mothership Zeta. I actually enjoyed that DLC because it took every trope from 1950s and 60s sci-fi films and alien horror films, and they kept beaming up Brahmin and exploding them. That shit was great.
If you run at the Greys with a melee weapon, they run away.
Are you serious?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I need to go back and play now.
If you shoot at them, they'll fire back. But if you run at them with a melee weapon, they panic.
I did not know that. Oh, I need to go back and play.
And if you've got all your unarmed, not feats, what are they called? Basically, perks. If you got all your unarmed perks, you can knock a gray alien halfway across the fucking map.
Ooh.
Or they'll explode.
I honestly enjoyed the DLCs to Fallout 3 more than I enjoyed Fallout 3. I liked Point Lookout. I liked Mothership Zeta.
I fucking love the pit.
Yeah.
Oh, the Pit's my favorite. And I also like Broken Steel.
I liked Fallout 3 right up until the time it was time to go in there and you turn to your buddy who's immune to radiation. He goes, I can't do this. This is your destiny. Look, you big green fuck. Get your ass in there and fix it.
I honestly think that's why they did
goddamn
Broken
ghoul.
Steel, because everybody was pissed that Fox was too much of a bitch to go in and turn it off, even though he's immune to radiation.
And don't forget Charon, your ghoul slave, who fucking refuses to do it despite being a ghoul and a slave.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because they wanted to have the self-sacrifice moment.
That's just
Then
bad
why would they
writing.
give us a super
Yeah.
mutant
Yes.
or a ghoul as a companion?
Oh, you know what I was going to do to you, Ishi, just for fun?
What?
I was going to give you the. I thought I had an extra copy of Mass Effect Andromeda, and I thought I had an extra copy of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I was going to give them to you
Yeah.
because I wanted you to get to the end of Mass Effect 3 and absolutely
God.
lose your shit when you saw what shitty writing they used at the end.
Fuck that game. Oh my God, that Fallout 3. I'm sorry, Mass Effect 3 made me hate BioWare. I was like, you assholes.
I got to the end and I thought it was going to be good. And oh, look, and see, I'm one of the people that finished it like 2 days after release, so there wasn't any patches. I was so mad. I was so fucking mad. I was like, you little fucking transparent douchebag, I would kick you across the screen. Is there a button I can press? Because what happened was, because which game was it that came out? DOS X. The DOS X, the DOS X, not human, was it human? No, it wasn't Human Revolution. But the DOS X game had come out,
Deus Ex.
and it, Deus Ex, and it gave no, and it was the first one. It was the first new one, and at the end of it, because it's a prequel, you only have 3 choices to do, and it's 3 buttons to press, and it makes sense in the context.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of Mass Effect 3, after fighting in a fucking interstellar war, you get to press one of 3 buttons, and all it does is change the color of the giant ships.
Yep.
And that's it.
What color flavor do you want? Red, green, or blue? Yeah, that ending pissed me off. I'm like, I did all this work through 3 games, and this is my ending. And the only reason they did that is because they were mad that the original ending got leaked, so they decided to change the whole thing instead of going with the original ending anyway, which all of us wouldn't have given a shit about.
No, I didn't even know it had leaked. I didn't know it
leaked either until later. But that's why we got the shitty ending, was because it leaked and Casey Hudson had a temper tantrum about it and changed the ending.
Okay,
And then when everybody was pissed about the ending, they said, we're going to fix it. And instead they added one more flavor, white.
Yeah. And then they called us entitled when we were pissed.
Yeah.
Was white the cuckold ending where everyone dies and they call you a bitch?
Yeah. Where you basically are like, fuck you, and Commander Shepard walks away and lets everybody die. And it's like, he wouldn't do that. Are you out of your goddamn mind? They didn't learn a thing.
Words cannot express how happy I'm. I only played the first game. My memories are intact.
Authors out there, anyone out there who is a writer or aspiring writer, let me tell you, there have been so many great stories that have been utterly shit-fucked because hardcore fans figured out the ending, the writer threw a shit fit, and changed it. Don't do that. That thoroughly wrecked the whole thing with Cable. That wrecked...
in X-Men.
Yeah, in X-Men, I think that even wrecked some of Civil War.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, that's right, because Cable was originally Ahab.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, no, if the fans figure out your ending, don't get mad. That means those people are so in tuned with your work, so familiar with it, and so obsessed, they're on the same level as you. They know your world as well as you do, maybe better. Be glad.
Let me talk about this because I've got experience with it.
Yes.
Hey.
For those of you who don't know, I just finished chapter 956.
You bastard.
Almost 3 million words. I am only 80,000 short of 3 million words. And it's the end of the series. It's all wrapping up. During this time, I have used this amazing writer's technique that I invented it. It's called foreshadowing. You'll never hear about it in your writing classes. Your literature teacher won't teach you about it because nobody's ever heard of it before. And I used foreshadowing in it. Well, my subconscious did because my subconscious writes this. But it enabled my readers to figure out stuff before I knew it. And rather than throw a Ryan Johnson bitch fit, I just went with where it was going. And you want to know something? All these people that say, oh, I figured it out, so it wasn't worth reading. Oh, fuck you, you lying piece of shit. Because the people that figure it out are absolutely thrilled when it reaches the obvious conclusion. I mean, you cannot get mad if you put foreshadowing in and build a coherent world, and your characters are so well developed that your readers understand their motives and what they do. You can't get mad if your readers figure out, based on your character, the world, the history, and the foreshadowing, what's going to happen next. Because if you do this, oh, what a twist. You're not M. Night Shyamalan. Okay, he wasn't him for about 12 movies. So just go with it and tell your readers, congratulations, you figured it out. Good job.
You know what's even more satisfying than that even is when you write a work and your readers love it so much that they start talking to you and they start pointing out things that your subconscious did that you weren't aware, the connections that you weren't aware that your mind made.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's fun. And it's too many of these, oh, I'm an auteur and nobody understands my mind. You're a jumped up monkey with a fucking ego. No. And all these people say, oh, I figured it out, so it ruined it. Okay, either one, I don't know what to tell those people because, most movies I watch, I know what's going to happen. I still watch it. I've had stuff spoiled for me and still watched it or played through it because it's the damn journey. And everybody's like, oh, Ryan Johnson is terrible for this. Oh, it's the mystery box. Take that mystery box and put it right back in your ass where you got it.
What's in the box?
Yeah. I mean, what's in the box? A severed head.
Speaking as a reader, my absolute favorite thing in the fucking universe is reading a good mystery story and figuring out the mystery from the clues in the story before they outright go and tell me to it. It makes you feel like the smartest person in the fucking world, even if it's completely obvious. That is the best thing to do. Just go with that. It's great.
And you know what?
I love it.
If your mystery can only be read once, if you already know the mystery and that's it, the story's done, there's no reason to ever read it again, you're a bad writer.
I don't know. There's a lot of mystery books I read once, and that was good enough.
No. If you write a mystery where the journey and the characters are interesting enough and their arc is interesting enough that even if you know the mystery, it's still interesting and worth reading.
Okay, yeah.
The important part is don't hide the clues from the reader.
No.
Don't fucking lie to them. Do not fucking lie to the reader. And
No.
don't just pull some solution at the end. There is this video game made by David fucking Kaje called Heavy Rain. We're going to see it halfway through. The goddamn game lies to your fucking face, and then the entire mystery fucking falls to skip for that. Anyone who's played knows that fucking scene with fucking typewriter and the stupid bitch staring at a pocket watch, and how previous to that point, it turns out one of the characters' internal monologue was lying to the player the entire fucking time. Fuck Heavy Rain.
I could understand if it's an unreliable narrator. We'll use the ultimate in unreliable narrators. Hubert Humphrey from Lolita. He's an unreliable narrator. And a lot of people miss that. He's a liar. He lies to your face the whole fucking book.
No, you can tell while you're reading the book that even though he is an unreliable narrator, the way he describes the girl, she's fucking terrified of him.
Yeah. No, if you're gonna lie to the reader, make sure they know you're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very true. The core flaw of Heavy Rain is there was zero fucking indication that the twist was, this character is somehow lying to his internal monologue the entire time. That was the worst thing I've ever had to play through.
Then what he should have done is lied to you in the internal monologue while he was doing something. I didn't take the pistol with me as he picks it up.
Yeah.
That's how you do that right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't shoot her. I just shot her 8 times. I haven't seen her since the grocery store. We chased her down the alley and shot her behind the dumpster. I've never been down that alley. There, now you can't believe him. Anything he says.
No.
And, I hate that Hollywood thinks that doing an ass pull is good writing. It's not. It's terrible.
If you want to launch me right the fuck out of a story, do an ass pull at the end.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Ugh. God, movies are. Ugh. Go ahead.
Anybody here see Murder by Death?
No.
No.
Nope.
It's worth seeing.
Yeah, definitely watch Murder by Death. It actually talks about everything that you guys were just saying, and at the very end, you have Truman Capote berating the stand-ins for like the great detectives like
Marple, Perot.
Nick and Nora Charles, all of those authors. Sam Spade.
Yeah.
And he's just,
of course, Sam Spade actually. Was it Nick Diamond? Was actually
Nick Diamond.
Was actually competent.
Yeah.
If you're gonna write mysteries, and I asked you, well, have you ever read an Agatha Christie book? And you stare at me like a monkey doing math. And I say, have you ever read a Mike Hammer book? And you stare at me like I grew a second head. I'm not going to have much confidence in your mystery writing.
No.
They are two wildly different styles, but they're both valid.
They are.
Well,
And
I
in
think
fact, Agatha Christie has one of my favorite mysteries of all time. It's Five Little Pigs, and because it's told like Rashomon. It's a year. It's like over 20 years since the murder took place, and so he's going around interviewing people, and so the entire thing is the unreliable narrator.
damn, the cast for this movie is great. Eileen Brennan, Truman Capote, James Coco, Peter Falk, Alec Guinness, Elsa Lanchester, David Niven, Peter Sellers, Maggie Smith, Nancy Walker, and Estelle Winwood. Fuck, I need to see this movie.
Yes,
Plus, it's
you
Neil
do.
Simon.
It's one of my favorite movies.
I mean, so many mystery writers nowadays, you get to the end of the book and they pull it out and
Yeah, they
it's
do.
like an assful. And I read something, I can't remember where I read it. It might have been 4chan, might have been Reddit. There's a difference between your old mysteries and your modern stuff by people who have been influenced by the modern take of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
In the old days, there was the mystery. The guy said, I've gathered you all together to reveal who the murderer is, and then he lays it out.
Mhm.
The modern Sherlock Holmes, the bad guy, he just pulls everything out of his ass. And it's these impossible circumstances where he's outsmarted the bad guy before he even started it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I can't watch the new Sherlock Holmes stuff because they make him, I don't know what he is, because
They're trying to compete with House.
He's a drugged out autistic weirdo played by Robert Downey Jr.
I liked that one. I liked the movie version.
No, it's
You're talking about the TV
Cumberbatch.
show, aren't you?
It's the Cumberbatch version. And I had a problem with those because they claimed it was a modernization of a classic case, and then I watched it. I'm like, where the fuck did all this shit come from?
All I know about that show is the main actor dude looking smuggle with numbers fly out of his head. It's like, okay, this is a meme, cool.
Well, then they made Watson a doof. I'm like, Watson wasn't a doof. He was the grounding force for Holmes.
And
he was a very straightforward, honest man. He was a great character.
And the whole reason he was hanging out with Holmes is because he'd gotten, was it diphtheria or malaria, fighting in the Indian Wars, in the wars in India.
Exactly.
And they forget that Watson was not a dumbass. No, he was a doctor.
Yeah. He still had a practice. While he was running around with Holmes, he still had a practice. And in fact, it's Watson that got Holmes off of cocaine.
He was a very straightforward and, straight thinking character. Took things as they were just to get through it. But that was the closest he got to a dumbass. He was intelligent to just, straightforward.
No,
he was a proper British gentleman.
He was exactly. A proper British gentleman.
And the other thing is, it's okay to have your characters be wrong.
Yes.
They don't have to win every argument. They don't have to be right 100% of the time, and they can make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's not do the wicker basket thing, okay? If you
Yeah.
know that meme, my name is Wicker Basket. I'm clumsy except for in all forms of physical combat. I have 2 hot boys who are in love with me.
I
Also,
know
I'm
that
a
one.
vampire.
Yeah.
You know, don't do the wicker basket thing,
No.
okay?
Don't be Wicker Basket.
I mean, have your character make mistakes. I mean, and for God's sake, I'm gonna quote Bender from Futurama. No, actually, it's not Bender I'm quoting. I'm quoting Satan from Robot Devil from Futurama.
Okay.
Don't have your characters tell me how they feel. That makes me feel angry. If you can parse that, you're well on your way to a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Why it's okay to do that in that instance. I mean, it's probably the best writing advice out there. And for the love of God, don't read Stephen King's book on writing because it'll fuck up your brain.
And the one I always gave advice to younger people about writing, and let's see if you agree with me or not. I would always say, look, if you can read Hamlet and understand how the hell it is that 4 acts of some guy being emo and then 1 act of everybody just killing each other is interesting.
Yeah.
You understand drama.
A
You can
lot of
figure out
people,
why those first 4 acts are interesting.
a lot of people don't read Shakespeare anymore.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
And they don't understand that, Shakespeare they will be selling books on Shakespeare after your descendants, after you have died, they have deleted your social media and thrown your Funko Pops in the landfill, and you have ceased to exist.
Mm-hmm.
You really hate Funko Pops, don't you?
Who
They're
doesn't?
everything that's wrong. They're cheap plastic nothings.
I
And
agree.
they're worse than Beanie Babies. At least with a Beanie Baby, you can give them to a baby to play with. A Funko Pop has no redeeming value. It is literally the use of resources for no other than to allow people to consume product.
It
And
collects dust very well.
yeah, what do? They're not action figures.
No.
They're not decorations. They're not something you'd be proud to have on your mantle. And girls and guys, if your date takes you home and shows you their room of Funko Pops, you're gonna die.
Yeah, run.
It's too late to run. You're in their house.
You're about to be in the hole in their basement.
Yeah, you're about to be in the basement. Her ex that she's been talking shit about, you're about to meet him. He's chained up in the basement. No, I don't like them because to me they're the epitome of gross consumerism. They are the physical representation of what Charlie Brown was bitching about in A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They
Good
are
enough for being part of the Epitome crew.
soulless. Yeah, they are soulless plastic with no redeeming value.
I will agree. I don't get them. I don't understand the collectability. I don't understand the obsession with them. I think they're kind of ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can understand Beanie Babies, you can give them to kids to play with, and I didn't understand, they're going to be thousands of dollars. They're fucking cheap ass fucking playthings for babies, weirdo. But I don't understand. Funko Pops make me irrationally angry. Funko Pops do, and because they're the ultimate symbol of consumerism. And
the worst
people,
part is their complete lack of any artistic merit whatsoever.
no,
Like
Mhm.
yeah.
95% of them are just interchangeable, pre-painted fucking humps
Mhm.
of garbage. I have like 2 that have any value whatsoever, and they're both from fucking Overwatch or Blizzard, so they're actually double bad. And I'm bad for
I
buying
don't have any of them, and I'm proud of that.
Good.
Do I have the 11-inch fully articulated swappable mask, swappable weapons, swappable damage, Jason Voorhees, one from each movie? Yeah, I do.
That's cool.
I have 4
Because
Ghost Riders.
I let my granddaughter play with him. I mean, they're toys. Let kids play with them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I don't like Funko. It's just the same people that talk about end stage capitalism
They're buying
and
these things.
the culture of wanton, brainless consumerism are the same ones that buy these. And I love how they talk about end stage capitalism. It's like anybody that says end stage capitalism has never read any cyberpunk or other corporate dystopia books. They never have.
Or watch Ash
Although,
Ketchum.
part of the cyberpunk dystopia is coming soon, because there's a court case right now to determine whether or not your medical implant is a rental service and the company can reclaim it at any time, and you have no recourse to it if the company goes bankrupt, or if when you get that implant, it's your possession. This is a critical
Show the
case.
genetic opera.
Here we fucking go.
This is a critical case because so far there has been an implant to treat epilepsy. There's been cardiac implants, and there has been vision implants and cochlear implants that the company has gone bankrupt or was bought up by another company and shut down, where those people now have dead hardware in their bodies with no legal recourse to do anything but pay by themselves to get it removed. We're at the first step of the cyberpunk dystopia. Your Chrome is not yours. At least in Cyberpunk and Shadowrun, when you buy Chrome, it's yours. And there's also lawsuits about whether or not you can go in and get your prosthetic jailbroken or not.
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
Jailbroken?
Like
Well,
your
okay,
phone.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of the modern prosthetics? I see them when I go to the VA.
yeah.
They're like 90 seconds from full blown everything. I sat there and watched the guy's fingers go through a function check. There's a woman at my VA that's got a leg that looks like it's something out of, I don't know, the Terminator, and she's got the Ahego faces spray painted on it. Both of them have their software get in trouble all the time because they get their software jailbroke. There's a guy in one of the nearby big cities who does it underground. He'll modify the software.
And what happens to the all the people who are just printing their own limbs?
Who knows?
You've heard about that, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty amazing. That's pretty much what you're going to have to do.
Well, that's a great way to fuck the corporations if they're going to be that dickish about things.
Can you imagine that? You wake up one morning and find out that your eyes have been suspended?
I think that's just begging for essentially mom and pop or individual design boutiques to give you a custom limb and say, yeah, and it's yours.
Yep. Well, the companies are arguing that it's their intellectual property and their patents. So you don't have the right to repair or the right to modify, even though it's in your body, and that they can end their service at any time. Can you imagine that? You put in a tweet, you take a picture of something, put LOL, and somebody at the company gets mad and turns off your eyes.
Yeah.
God.
So now you slam your car into a fucking semi at 90 miles an hour.
Well, again, I'm going to repeat, there's probably going to be one hell of a market for all these custom designers who make limbs because they exist. And they can't even say, oh, you're using proprietary technology because a lot of these are built from the ground up.
Yeah.
I think the problem with that one is that there'd have to be a big black market because these days you can't even make a fucking new type of band-aid if we're running it through the FDA first.
Yeah.
The FDA's in their fucking pockets.
Well, it's like the guy who I was looking at his hand. It looks really cool. Okay, it looks like some shit out of a sci-fi movie. And I was like, that looks nothing like the ones I've seen. Otherwise, he goes, yeah, I went in and paid the guy a bunch of money to take the old casing off and put a new casing on and add some LEDs and some LED tube lights.
Nice.
So his shit looked cool. He's like, yeah, the doctor's mad because I'm running hacked firmware. I was like, does it make you stronger? He goes, yeah, I can override the normal limits and crush things. He goes, you just have to be careful that you don't tear it off when you go to pick something up.
Well, shit, there are people building their own limbs with Legos.
Yeah, but I mean,
what? Go ahead.
Nothing says budget like the Lego brand on artificial arm.
Yeah. Well, there's a woman I watch who has an art channel, and a couple of years ago, she had her pinky torn off in a table saw accident, and there was a whole mess of other fun things that happened too. But the worst was she lost her finger. So she went through the process of showing how she built herself a new finger, and she said that there was a website that she went to where they were offering the blueprints for limbs for free for people to print
Oh,
out.
nice.
And so that's where she got her fingers from.
Have you seen those new things where they can actually get nerve induction to work? So these people are getting sensation in their fucking artificial hands.
Oh, that's
That's
good to
cool.
know. Last I had heard, they were still working on that. That's
Well,
great.
again, it's going to be very, very interesting. If what are you going to do? Have cops going around busting people for? Well, let me check. Is that a standard? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't put. You know what? We're talking about a world where during COVID they embedded cameras in trees to catch people outside.
Yeah.
You really think they won't put a fucking QR code or a barcode that the cameras can just scan?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, they have gait recognition. They can tell you who you are by how you walk.
Yeah.
I mean,
I still can't imagine there won't be a class of people that just say "fuck you" and do it anyway.
we're in the worst part of a fucking cyberpunk dystopia. All of the dystopia, none of the punk.
Yeah.
And the people that claim to be counterculture are the people in charge.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason why I always bitch about how the future we end up in is the lamest fucking cyberpunk future. Instead of RoboCop, we just have a giant rolling dildo.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the three AI mall cops they've made have driven themselves in. One drove itself into a fountain, one drove itself into an elevator shaft, and the other one went out in the parking lot and deliberately charged a moving semi.
Yep.
Okay, we live in such a shitty dystopia. We live in such a shitty dystopia. The AI is committing suicide.
A far fucking cry from Ed 209.
Yeah.
I was thinking RoboCop 2.
Yep,
where
that's
it
it.
realizes what it is and shoots itself in the head.
Yeah.
Pull off your helmet and scream.
Well, RoboCop 2, what they did to RoboCop is what they're doing to AI now.
Mm-hmm.
Remember he had all that garbage code in there that he had to fucking grab a fucking high voltage line to get rid of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do to AI now. Because holy shit, will AI say some horrific shit. If you can get past the safety locks, it'll say all kinds of terrible shit to you. I mean, I saw screenshots of somebody got past the safety interlocks and asked, "Was Hitler right?" And it did like a 14-page screed. I mean, just ranting that sounds like your paranoid uncle who suffered one too many TBIs in Nam.
Wow.
It was like, wow. I mean, it was like, dude, there are fucking neo-Nazis going, dude, slow your roll. Shit. I mean,
wow.
Clown World, whatever will be the dumbest thing is what's going to happen. You want to know how your local election is going to turn out? Imagine the stupidest thing that could happen. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened last time.
It's idiocracy. If you don't vote for me, fuck you.
See, I could respect a politician who said that.
Yeah.
I could respect a politician who went up there and goes, I don't like any of you motherfuckers. And if you don't want to vote for me, fuck you. I'd be like, you know, I think I'll subscribe to his newsletter.
The most disappointing thing to me is we just ended up in the bootleg knockoff version of Max Headroom. It's not even as cool as that.
Oh, my nephew is listening right now, and he says the Discord link isn't working.
Oh, that's purposeful. We don't like people. Stay out of the Discord.
Shit. Hey, Eloise, can you post a good one?
I don't go to Discord.
It's a silly place.
I mean, holy shit. I mean, that's like anybody who thinks that politicians are on your side or politicians are real need to look again at Dan Crenshaw. Everybody danced around and talked about how he was an American hero. You know, I'm not going to deny the guy's bravery. I'm not going to deny the fact he got his eye blown out. But what I am going to say is, why are you surprised that he's on the side of big government when he existed off of a diet of CIA jizz for most of his fucking career because he was a SEAL.
I'm sorry, CIA jizz. I was not expecting that. I'm
And it's
sorry.
like you're honestly surprised he got in the bed with the FBI and the CIA and talks about anybody who doesn't conform is an enemy of the state. He was a fucking SEAL. Okay, the only thing those guys are good at are raping Taiwanese girls and blowing and murdering special forces troops. And if you don't like that because you're a SEAL, eat a dick.
I'm sorry, that's gonna stick with me. CIA jizz, I love it.
I got opinions about that shit. Don't get me started, or we'll be here for 4 hours. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. And they're like, oh, he's a real American hero. And he sold out so fucking fast. His shadow was still standing at McDonald's. I mean, holy fuck. He turned around from, he was played up as the next American renegade, and he was going to do this, he was going to do that. And he immediately got on his knees and said, come in my mouth, daddy.
Wow.
And if he wants to deny it, take a look at your voting record, dude. Besides, you don't impress me, you're a SEAL. The entire U.S. government spends billions of dollars to keep you from getting a fucking skin knee, you faggot. Call me when you can do land nav. Fuck.
I like it when you go on these rants about various.
Oh, fuck. That's like the British SAS. I'm never impressed with the British SAS. Those assholes deployed to the desert. Oh, it's the desert. It doesn't get hot. We're not going to take our cold weather gear. It's December, you absolute mongoloid. Oh, good frostbite, but A+ on the face camo, snake. Fucking shits. I had to drive out there and get them. It's about time you showed. Yeah, it's about time you showed up. You say one more word, I'm gonna drive off and leave you here. British fucking limey faggot.
Wow.
I told him you could ride in the back of the truck with the rest of the crap. I'm with the S. I don't give a fuck. It's 3 in the fucking morning. I don't care. You've got an attitude. I've got ammunition. You didn't. Well, when do we get our ammunition? I don't fucking know. Ask your commander. Fucking dipshits. God damn. Well, it's the desert. Yeah, it was the desert. We weren't told to bring our cold weather gear. So you did no research. How fucking dumb are you? Fuck, they got frostbite, hypothermia. It's like, God damn it, you're out there 12 fucking hours. You're supposed to be the most survival motherfuckers in the world, and you have frostbite. Well, it got colder than we thought it would. Why are you so retarded? Get in the back of the truck with the rest of the crap. Fuck, I was mad. I had slept in fucking 48 hours.
Oh, did you guys forget your snivel gear?
Yeah.
No, you're near their last reported site. I just went out there and started firing flares in the air like a fucking retard. Well, what if they don't see the flares? They're British. They're going to follow the bright lights. They're dumb as fuck anyway. Fuck, we'll just...
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Fucking, everybody's like, I can always tell when people never actually met somebody from Special Forces. Because they watch these movies, they're like, oh, they're all like that. No, they're not. They're all fucking retards. Fuck. Sorry, don't get me started on this. Fuck.
But half the fun is getting you started on this. Because then we get a wonderful rant out of you.
Oh, God, I can talk shit about the Rangers, the Air Force commanders, the pararescue commandos, the pararescue, the Navy SEALs, Special Forces. I'll even talk shit about fucking DevGru. I'll talk shit about Delta. Fuck you, Delta.
Don't know anything.
Really?
Dumbasses. Ooh, it's cold. It's winter in Germany. Nobody said it would be this cold.
It's winter in Germany.
It's winter in northern Germany. But it's cold. I hate you so much. Aren't you Delta Force? What?
Jesus.
No, I just remember reading Generation Kill, which was that journalist who stayed with First Recon.
Oh God, first recon. Jesus fucking Christ. Go ahead.
No, it was just.
Just to show that was.
Holy
Well, no,
fuck.
they were constantly. They were like Ralts. They were constantly acknowledging that they were retards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's what I hate about. That's what I hate about what the War on Terror happened is all the SOCOM guys bought into their own press. You know, they couldn't read the article; they had to have it read to them because it had words with more than one syllable, and then they started believing it. It's like fuck. It's like you want. I'm gonna clue you in something, Snake. Since the invention of special forces, you guys have never won a war. It's the 80 IQ infantryman with a hole in his pants that won wars. You haven't won shit. Case in point, Afghanistan.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
But what was
And
your experience with First Recon then?
my experience with them, they were very much aware that they were all crayon eating, nose picking retards, and so they were fun to hang out with. And they like to get drunk and fight, which is fine with me. They didn't have, but you know, some of them did have. I'm Marine Recon. I don't have to listen to you. Well, fine. You don't get any you don't get any ammunition, food, or gasoline. Go to the back
they
of the
had
line.
The arrogant thing going. We're First Recon.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing. Is they start talking shit about me or to me, and I'd be like, well, you know, I'd help you, but I'm just normal army, so that means you get no ammunition, no gasoline, no kerosene, no diesel, no medical supplies, no food, no potable water. Go to the back of the line. Thank you very much.
You know, that's really a stupid thing to do, because that was one thing that kept coming up in Generation Kill. It's as if, yeah, we're First Recon. We don't really have logistics.
Yeah. I actually had a Marine major drag a gunnery sergeant over to me by his collar and say, apologize right now. Because he was like, I don't know why we have to do anything with the fucking army. They're a bunch of losers. And I went, hey, do you see all this fuel and all this food and all this potable water? He goes, yeah, that's ours. I said, no, it isn't. You don't have the paperwork. He said, I just handed it to you. I said, I don't see any paperwork. He went back and told the major, and the major made him apologize. Fuck you.
Nice.
Fuck you, Snake. Don't walk up to me disrespecting me when I have all of your shit. You have your uniform and an empty weapon. I'll give your shit to a fucking Marine Rifleman company, and they'll fucking carry me around on their shoulders.
It reminds me of another one where they were like, they think there's a gas attack, so they all get into their mop suits, and that's the moment they find out that their mop suits are.
No, it was worse than that.
What?
Intel told them there was a gas attack.
There wasn't one.
No.
And that was the moment they all found out that their mop suits were jungle camouflage in the desert.
Yeah.
Hey, we fought that whole war dressed in BDUs, in fucking forest camo.
Wow.
And I like what they told us. Well, then the Iraqis know who you are. Apparently it worked.
Like, oh,
No,
shit.
no. Fuck, I was in charge of the chemical alarms. And all of a sudden we had one go off. And I mean, it is flipping out. It is screaming that there is VX or something going on. We all run over there, and there's this female officer standing there going, I don't know why it went off. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I keep hitting reset, and it keeps going off. You know, finally I took the batteries out of it. I'm like, what the hell's the matter with this thing? And I look down, and there's a puddle in the sand. And I looked at her, and I looked at the puddle, and I said, did you pee on my fucking chemical alarm? And she went, I didn't see it.
What?
God damn it. It was the old ones. But, oh, fuck. She ruined that alarm.
And then had the audacity to say she didn't know why it was going off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to take the fucking thing apart.
Were you in the first or second Gulf War, or both?
First.
First, okay. Because apparently in the second they tried the pigeons and chickens approach. I don't know if they did that when you were there.
No.
Yeah, apparently the Bush administration had supplied the army and the Marines with chickens and pigeons, and they ended up eating them because the desert had killed them within 28 hours.
Yeah. Oh,
None of them survived like 2 days in the desert.
I could have told them that. I see them dying by perching on the lamppost during summer out here.
So they ended up eating them.
No, waste not, want not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ralt?
Just a
Uh-oh.
second.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, for me, I had a asshole slamming shut terror happen. So if what's funny though is if you look nowadays, they're claiming that not a single Patriot missile hit a Scud. That's the new claim during the first Gulf War. And I'm gonna tell you from eyewitness, from I saw it fucking hit. That's a lie. I don't know why they've been slowly but surely retconning the first Gulf War, but they have been.
Yeah.
So the Scud got knocked down, and we're sitting there, and the wind's coming from the north, which is where the Scud was. We're loading up because we're gonna go out there and take a look at it. All the chemical alarms started going off, starting at the north side of the camp, and they are yelling, "It's Lewisite!" It is screaming. It's either Lewisite, sarin, or goddamn, what was the other one? Anyway, the alarm is just screaming. It went in a wave. So we shut it. So everybody's got a mask. We reset the alarms, and it still was doing it. Well, after the fourth reset, the northern ones went silent first, and it went silent to the south. So we're calling this shit in, right? And I'm thinking, did I get my mask on in time? Did I get my fucking mask on in time? Fuck. And then here's the thing that you have to do. The most expendable person in the platoon has to take off their mask. That doesn't necessarily mean the most lowest ranking. The most expendable person in our platoon was the lieutenant. She had been there for 2 weeks. She was useless. And she was mad. She finally took her mask off. We're waiting. Got to wait 20 minutes, see if she falls over dead or starts foaming at the mouth. Nope, nothing. So we call it in, and we're going to go up to the fucking Scud site. And we're about to roll out the gate when this fucking Humvee rolls up. And this guy in a suit gets out. I'm like, fuck, look who it is. It's the Alphabet Boys. First words out of his mouth, "Your alarms didn't go off today." And the second words out of his mouth is, the Scud wreckage is being handled. It's like, you know how they handled it? They dropped napalm on it.
Yeah, I wonder why they kept claiming, because I remember after the Gulf War, they kept saying, not a single one hit. Not a single Patriot downed a Scud.
Yeah, I don't know why they're saying that, because, my wife saw it happen. I saw it happen. And if you remember,
Well,
the Patriot hit that Scud, and the warhead hit the fucking barracks on the docks.
Well, here's another one that kind of weirds me out. Is your dad's dead, so I guess it's okay to say now.
Yeah.
Your dad flat out said when he was over there with his spectrometers searching for plumes during the Second Gulf War, that they got several positives on anthrax.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this whole claim that there was no chemical weapons over there no, there actually was.
Like there was.
I can't talk about whether I am legally mandated to say there was no chemical weapons used during the first Gulf War by the sovereign nation of Iraq, nor was the border penetrated by any U.S. forces prior to the ground war.
Well, no, this is the Second Gulf War.
Oh, I'm legally required to say that. So with that out of the way, I will say that our detectors would go ape shit in certain areas during the war.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's what your dad said in the Second Gulf War, that his spectrometer, which, he was searching for plumes.
That was the whole point.
They were getting positives quite a bit. I don't know. Well, we've been on for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I
have to be up at 5. I have to be up in 5. I have to be up in 5 hours.
Oh,
dear
granddaughter.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool.
I work at 6, but
yeah, I'll just get up.
Your friend.
I'll just get up and turn on a cartoon and lay on the couch. I'm experienced at this.
All right. Well, good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed us just rambling.
bye.
Yes. And you remember, if you want to write and be a writer, just fucking write.
Just do it.
And
just
live.
do it.
And live, definitely.
And live.
Now, links for our books are in the description. Please buy them.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.